the podcast nowhere near Hollywood. It's Afternoon Coffee with Mike and Tim.
Hey, that was good. What I was thinking was maybe welcome to the Afternoon Coffee Podcast with Mike and Tim.
Nice try, boys, but this is how it should sound. This is the Afternoon Coffee Podcast with Mike and Tim.
All right, I'm going to take care of some quick business here. I got to disinfect this studio, make sure it's COVID-19 Corona Wuhan virus free. See if we get to every little corner here. Here we go. All right. I think that'll do it. Welcome to Afternoon Coffee with Mike and Tim. I am Mike.
And I'm, of course, Tim.
Yes, you are. And we have a special guest this week, and her name is Adrienne Mach. Adrienne Mach is famous on YouTube for, well, we'll get to some of that. We have some interesting things to talk about. She is a stewardess. She's been a stewardess for 20 years, but there's a lot more to unpack in that stewardess package. And we're going to, Adrienne, welcome to the show, first of all.
Well, thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we have Tim. Why don't you ask her some of the things about what she's famous for that we may not know about?
That's interesting because I think through a mutual friend of Adrienne and myself, we had he introduced me to her and said that she did and still does something unique, and it's on the airplane, and not many people have the guts to do this and to entertain the people. And with that, I'm going to segue over to Adrienne. Adrienne, what do you do on the airplane that is so special and that makes everybody feel at home?
Well, I actually do sort of like a concert. With my airline, they do sort of fun songs, but the people really can't sing. I'm a legitimate singer, and I actually, whenever I go into Nashville, I always sing I Will Always Love You from Whitney Houston's version. And then when I go into Vegas, I sing Celine Dion's Power of Love.
Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah, because it's appropriate for where you're headed to and all that, right?
Right. And you know what? New York is famous. No, I don't do New York, New York. I do Billy Joel's New York State of Mind going into New York.
Oh, man, that is tremendous. That's good. And tell me the reception of the people on the airplane, what their expression on their face, everything.
Okay, there's a lot of tears because, as you know, those songs are very powerful. And they get off and they always say, this is the best flight I've ever had. And then they're like, oh, my God, you should be on The Voice. Oh, my God, you should be on American Idol. I'm like, well, from your mouth to God's ear.
Oh,
Have you applied to be on one of those shows? Have you ever applied?
I plead the fifth.
Okay, I understand. But you've been doing stewardessing for quite a while. How long ago did you start singing?
Well, it sounds cliche, but I started singing when I was 3. I was sort of like my sister calls me the monkey grinder's monkey because everybody like, sing, Adrienne, sing. So I sang when I was 3, and as my sister tells me, because of course when I was young they didn't have video and recordings and things of that nature, but she said that I sang like a woman when I was in elementary school, and I believe I did, because I remember Ocean City, Maryland. We used to go to restaurants, and there was a place called the Bonfire Restaurant. I was 10 years old, and they had me get up on stage, and I sang The Way We Were from Barbra Streisand.
Oh, okay.
Well, so the cooks came out of the kitchen. The owner came out of everybody was at a standstill. So that was my first paying gig. I got fudge and drink umbrellas.
Oh, that's neat.
Very
So
nice.
recently you've had an opportunity, and I want you to share that with us, but at least you had the opportunity to sing somewhere close to where Mike and I are right now. Talk about that. And that was in the Chattanooga area.
Well, I've sung in Columbia, Tennessee, of course, but I gotta tell you, my most amazing vocal trip was when I was with American. We did a lot of veterans initiatives, and I did all their concerts. I did Skyball. I did something called Snowball Express, where you take children who have lost a relative in the war and take them on an all expense paid trip, which is a beautiful thing. So I did all that. But I also got to go with Gary Sinise's Operation Iraqi Children, and
Mm.
we took a lot of celebrities over to the Middle East.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I was one of the singers over there, which was such an honor. And we went with Mary Eisenhower, who's a beautiful lady. She is so philanthropic and lovely inside and out. And we got to go take off and land on the Eisenhower,
Oh, hey.
where unless you know anybody, you cannot take a cod and land and take off on an aircraft carrier. So
Right.
then I got to do that, and we went to Ramstein to the hospital and just all around the Middle East helping our soldiers be entertained. So that was
See
the
there?
biggest amazing thing in my life that my voice has gotten me to do.
So that's like a mini USO tour. Yeah, that's
Correct.
good. So I was also referring to Chattanooga. You had an opportunity to audition for something.
Well, I did, but they canceled it because of the coronavirus.
Nuts.
So yes, I do sing, day late, dollar short, Murphy, but I'm going to change that. Yeah, I was going to, and I still may when they reopen them, audition for the baseball team there. And then as well as I believe in Nashville, they have an opportunity for, of course, they don't have a major league team, but to sing for their ball team as well. So, hey, I'm
Good.
going to do whatever I can because you never know who's listening.
That's true. And this podcast as well. We don't know. This may go somewhere where it will affect and meet people where where you can certainly catapult. Yeah.
On the plane, they always they were like, oh my God. And this is no discredit to Whitney, but they get off the plane and they're like, oh my God, you sing Whitney better than Whitney. And I'm like, oh,
Oh, neat.
you.
Ah, that's awesome.
I'm like, thanks.
Now I've been to the Lookout Stadium up in Chattanooga, and it's a lot of fun. I was at the old stadium years ago, but they have a lot of fun there. They do a lot of things during the seventh inning stretch. It's just it's a fun atmosphere. If you've never been to a minor league baseball team, I mean, the stadium, they just have a lot more fun than they do at regular baseball stadiums.
Yes.
They have TV time constraints and all that kind of stuff, but they have a lot of fun at the Lookout Stadium. Yeah, I think you'll like it.
Well, I can't wait. So when all this rolls over and gets figured out, I'm happy
Yeah.
to do that. So that's exciting.
Awesome.
Something to look forward to.
So when did you start singing at work? Did you start that right out of the gates with American Airlines or?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, I find a stage anywhere. My goodness gracious. If they stop domestic flying, you'll see me in Nashville on the corner with a little bucket.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
If you ever walk through Nashville, that's not uncommon. So
How
I might
about
get
that?
arrested, but hey.
So you're looking at a little bit at the past in 1988. Tell us what happened in 1988.
Oh, I graduated from college
Good.
with a major in communications. That's the equivalent to if you go to University of Miami basket weaving.
That's funny.
And my concentration was in public relations and broadcasting.
So that set you up for the future. And then also you did, the course of broadcasting and some PR work. Tell us about that.
Well, I interned at a local station, WJZ TV, and it's Channel 13. And I was fortunate enough to work with a nice lady who got me there named Phyllis Reese, and I love her to death. I've not spoken with her in a while as, life goes so quickly on that hamster treadmill of life. And I got to do like public service announcements and see how fitting commercials into each broadcast works and when they're timed and how much. So I learned a lot. It was very interesting. But then after that, I sold dog food for a living.
Oh, hey, how about that? Dog
Yes.
food.
And it's a wonderful job because you get commission on every bag you sell. And of course, because it's a consumable, you don't even have to work very hard. Dogs eat it and people buy more.
What-
And then I started flying with American.
Did you work as a distributor, or was this selling dog
with a
food
dis-
door to
with a
door? Okay.
oh no, with a distributor, and they had stores that they sold to, and
Okay.
I made sure they were happy.
Everybody loves their pets, so yeah, they gotta.
Oh yes, I have three of them here myself. Um, so then I my boarding school teacher who had adopted me when my mom passed, while I was in boarding school.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Her,
Yeah.
her daughter was a flight attendant for United, and she goes, you know what, you might want to try being a flight attendant. So she was the catalyst for American. The rest is history.
So how'd you end up with Southwest? You're at Southwest now, correct?
Oh, it's oh golly, it's heartbreaking. I was with American. That was my career. Loved it. Um, and my mom got dementia, and
Oh no.
yeah, and I stupidly took something they were offering, which was really nothing. Um, and I was 6 months away from retirement, so I missed flying so much. I'm at Southwest, and I must say they do treat their people and their passengers very well. It's been an
Good.
enjoyable experience.
Whenever I've flown Southwest, we've always been very impressed with them. They're very professional and a lot of fun. We've had some guys just do all kinds of stuff and say, when like for the safety briefing they have at the beginning, they'll spice that up and kind of make everybody laugh, and it's very nice. Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually have a
I
friend.
wish I could be like that. I'm sorry.
Well, you're singing, you're fine.
Oh yeah.
But I have a friend that I was in the military with, that she is a flight attendant for Southwest based out of Dallas. And
Oh, cool.
she loves it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the people are nice. The company, and I tell people, I said, of course it's a corporation, so you're going to be a number, but you're an appreciated number, which is very unheard of these days in corporate America.
So
They just really
yeah,
treat you well.
yeah. Well, Mike and I know that all too well, don't we, Mike?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So you're are the days over? Two questions, but are the days over, Adrienne, of actually demonstrating to the people about the seat belts and the mask coming down? The video does that now. They have videos to do that for you,
Well,
right?
Southwest has the same stuff they had in the 70s. We are the entertainment, so there's no video. That's why you get to have the fun comedic people do the emergency demonstration, and people laugh and actually watch it more closely when it's fun. So
Yeah,
if
it's
we did a
live.
video that was repetitive, I think people who are frequent flyers tend to tune it out. But if we do it and we speak it and we demonstrate it personally, they pay attention.
Good. And it's that touch that the people in your position have that makes people feel just so comfortable on that flight. Like when you put your, and Mike and I can tell your personality, and that's great. It's bubbly and you're energetic, and when you show that personality to your customers, that they really, really, really do appreciate that. I just got off of an international flight in January to Africa. I might have mentioned that, may have not sometime, but it makes a difference when you're especially going on an international flight, because you see these people all the time. Now, if you start off something on a bad foot with a steward or a stewardess, it can be a bad flight. So you probably have people that you would have rather not invite back on your plane, but you can't say that. But
Well, unfortunately, when people travel, they're in their own bubble. So they tend to think that they're the only ones there. And sometimes gently you have to remind them that there are sometimes 142 to 174 other people on there as well.
man, I'll tell you,
But you do
you're
it gently, and
responsible.
then but you do it gently, and then they're appreciative. Because a lot of times people, you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors.
No, yeah,
They
you're
may be
right.
stressed, or had something may have happened prior to boarding at home, or they got a phone call. So you have to sort of be gentle with them, but get your point across.
Cool, cool. So have you seen you've seen the show Pan Am when it was on TV, right? Pan Am.
Yes.
Did you like that?
And I've watched what is it, the Gwyneth Paltrow movie Up in the Air or something like that.
Oh, I need to see that.
I think I've seen them all, but it's fun to see flight
People imitate
attendants
your job.
portrayed. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and see how it's perceived when
How
you're not
about that?
really when you're not
Is
really
it
in the profession.
is it normally pretty accurate? I mean, do they really do their homework well, or?
Well, I mean, a lot of times it's comedic. Memorex is never as real as the real thing.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Our generation knows what you just said.
I was going to say, I think of a broken glass, but nobody else. If you're under 50, you're not going to get this joke. So
No,
yeah,
not at all. So just one quick thing, some memorable flights as far as when you felt that maybe the turbulence was just a bit too much, and you were even questioning probably the landing, safely. Was there any flights? Has there been any flights like that, Adrienne?
No, there
No.
hasn't for me. I mean,
Yes.
there's turbulence, but I realized that the planes are pretty, are built to withstand, major moves and things of that nature. But there was one flight where it was so turbulent that literally I was like passing out trash bags to people because those little bags that they get in the seat back pocket
Yeah.
are never
Yeah.
big enough for what comes out of someone's body.
Oh my word! So there has been. I remember coming back from a flight from London, my eldest daughter, and we got hit by lightning twice, and so that was scary. But the steward said, "Man, it's no problem." But
Yeah.
it was a big bang. It was terrible, just
Yeah.
terrible.
We know that it can withstand a lot.
you would think
So-
that would knock out all the electronics if you got hit
You would
by
think so.
lightning.
So let's go to a little bit of a commercial break. We don't have a commercial, do we, Mike? We'll come up with one.
Oh, we've got that promo. We could do
Yeah,
that.
we got a promo. Yeah, we'll do that.
Look, we know that chances are you've got a boring 30 minutes or longer commute to work. And we also know that you've got choices on that commute. You can listen to one of those morning DJs that try too hard to make you laugh. Or even worse, you could listen to some political bickering. We all have enough of that in our lives now, don't we? There is another option. The Afternoon Coffee Podcast. We offer lighthearted conversation, trivia, weird news, and interviews with interesting people you probably have never heard of. That's Afternoon Coffee with Mike and Tim. Available everywhere you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back. And we're speaking with Adrienne Mach, and she is a flight attendant. Do you prefer flight attendant or stewardess?
Well, I like to be called anything that is not the B word, so
Oh
it's
no!
okay.
And you got to maintain that smile that we see, and people can't see the smile right now, but you got to maintain that smile, don't you? And with everyone. Yeah.
Well, my thing is, it's got to be genuine. I said some people should be in a cubicle, and some people should be out in the public. And fortunately, I'm one of those people that they don't want to hide in a cubicle.
So
Sorry.
let's go to 2020, and this is March. What's the date today, guys? 17th,
18th.
18th of 2020, and we're in the middle of this coronavirus deal. So tell me, Adrienne,
Yes.
what? Are people stealing toilet paper, number one, off airplanes? No. Or
Not
wait,
that
that
I
would be
know.
number two, Mike. Anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
right.
Ooh,
Stop it.
ouch.
Yeah,
Number two.
Stop it.
Right. The toilet paper and the hand sanitizer.
Are they
Don't
stealing?
forget-
Are
no,
they
they're
stealing?
Not.
Okay.
They're not.
So my question is, on a flight, if we're limited to 10 people, how does that cover mass transportation like a air flight?
Well, that's a good question because I flew back to Nashville from Baltimore yesterday, and there were 12 people on the flight.
How about that?
So it's a different time. You just don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, people will, cloister themselves in their homes just for a week or two, and make a lot of babies
Yes.
for December and January.
That's funny.
And
Somebody mentioned that the other day. We're going to see a baby boom at the end of the
We
year.
are. Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, unless they're like, oh my God, no, honey, don't touch me. We have to keep social distance. You stay in the guest room.
Oh gosh.
Hey,
So
Mike.
are you grounded right now? Are you grounded?
Yeah, are
I'm
you
not.
grounded?
You're not.
I'm
Okay.
not.
Good.
When
good.
do you work? Oh, you could fly out like tomorrow, next day, or something. I don't know.
Well, Yeah, I can pick up something if I want to. But my hard line is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I'll be doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
Now, how
You
does
know,
that
it'd be
work? Do you
nice if you
fly?
guys accepted tips.
Well, you know what? We do actually. And people are very nice. I mean, we just say, oh, no, it's not necessarily necessary. But if they insist, we can.
Oh, good.
Because it's their nice gesture, and we don't want to offend either. We don't want to be like, oh, no, and then embarrass them. So it is accepted and very much appreciated, and we thank them profusely for sure.
Good for you. And I think you're in your profession definitely need to be compensated for that, for your goodness. Yeah.
I am surprised that Southwest is okay with that. Or they just,
Well, I mean, Southwest appreciates their employees, and they don't want to offend. It's the happy airline. We don't want to offend anybody. We want everybody to be happy.
Good.
So when somebody offers you a tip, and again, it's not $20. It may be $1. It may be $5. You don't want to offend the people by saying, "Oh no." Just say, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, but it's not necessary." And if they
What?
insist, then of course, we're
I,
grateful. And
I know in the last 10 years, we've only flown Southwest. I think my wife has flown Allegiant once. But for me, anyway, it's only been Southwest. And there's a big difference than was maybe back in the 70s and 80s when you flew Eastern Airlines or some of the others that may not even be around anymore. It was just so aseptic back then. It was just so dry. And and it's just so much more fun. Like you said, they encourage you to make people laugh and to entertain. And you really do a great job.
oh, thank you. Well, the thing is that it is true. They do encourage us to have our own personalities. And that's why when when you go on the interview, sometimes they ask you, what is special about you? What can you bring to the table? And that's
Did,
when I burst into song, and
I
I'm
was going to say you sang during your
Oh,
interview,
that's
didn't
so
you?
good. Yeah, that's real good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, a little bit of housekeeping. I see we're coming up on about 4 minutes and 15 seconds to the end, but we may want to have a second half hour. What do you think?
That's okay with me. If Adrienne's available, sure.
Are you tricking me? Are you gonna make me sing on this thing here?
Well, no,
I,
that's on our folks. We just want to say I want you to stay tuned because Adrienne Mach is going to give our debut song. We haven't had a song on this broad podcast as yet, have we, Mike?
I don't think so.
Nope,
I
nobody has sang. So
nobody wants to hear me sing. We have heard you play the harmonica,
I do.
but I think
I
that's as
do.
musically as we've gotten. So
Well,
yeah.
this is stressful for you. I know, but you have two big choices. You have Power of Love or I Will Always Love You, because those are the
I
ones
will
that you
always
want to
love
play.
you. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good one.
Okay.
That's more the power of love, but I will always love you. I love Whitney. Whitney, when she did the national anthem, she did. I mean, we haven't heard you do that yet, but she did the very best national anthem ever. If you
Uh-huh.
heard, and you've heard her, oops, sorry, you've heard
Yes.
her say that or sing it rather. And so I did have a question that we've got a little bit of time left in interaction with the pilots, the pilot and co-pilot. So tell us a little bit about that. Do you interact at all in the flight with them? I mean, not during flight maybe, but tell us a little bit about that,
Yeah,
the
we
pilot and
interact.
co-pilot.
Well, in the beginning, I like to do the front position, so I interact with them more so. But they give us a briefing, they let us know how much time is in the flight, if we can get right up to start serving, how, things of that nature. The business of the job. They let us know all the pertinent information that we need to know.
Okay, good.
And then once the flight is over, if we have them for other legs while we're waiting to board, yes, we do interact with them. And
Good.
then
And they usually come out. They come out and then they greet the people or say goodbye rather.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
greet them, say goodbye. And really, the stellar pilots that are amazing, they come and help us clean the planes, which is
Are you
nice.
serious?
Wow.
Yeah, they'll come out and they will help us not we don't clean. They help us tidy the plane,
Oh, neat. That's good.
which is very much appreciated.
Now, isn't there a crew that comes on and does like the deeper cleaning, or is that not
That is
accurate?
that is at night.
Okay.
But we
So
try to throughout the day because, with Southwest, we like to turn and burn.
yeah.
Turn and burn.
Yeah.
Hey, good. This has been a great podcast. We're speaking with Adrienne Mach of Southwest Airlines. She is a flight attendant, and she does very well. And you know what? We're going to end this now, but in the next half hour, you all need to stay tuned and click back in with Afternoon Coffee with Mike and Tim, because Adrienne will actually sing for us. And then we want to let you know that you can grab this podcast at afternooncoffeepodcast@gmail.com is where you can communicate with us. But then Afternoon Coffee, what is it? Afternoon Java. Is that right, Mike? On Twitter.
On Twitter, it's Afternoon Java. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I'd mess that up, but good. So that is, and also we are on other outlets. We're on
iHeartRadio, Google
all right.
Podcasts. We're on, Stitcher, just about anywhere you find your podcasts. Once you get on Apple, everything kind of spreads from there. It's like a virus. We'll make it newsworthy. But
no, don't use that word.
Nope, can't use that. So hey,
another word I
we don't
can't
wanna
say
do
today.
that.
Okay.
Let's get this thing eradicated, right?
Okay.
Good.
So tune in next week. We will have some singing, and we will continue another half hour with Adrienne Mach. And thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Guests on the Afternoon Coffee Podcast stay at the Real Rest Inns and Suites, the only 2-star hotel in the tri-state area with a don't ask, don't tell policy for snakes and other exotic pets.
This episode has been made possible by our awesome intro voice, Heather Foster. You can find out more about her at heatherfostervoice.com. All music has been provided and produced by Marble Planet Productions. You can hear more about them on Instagram at Marble Planet Productions. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can either email us at afternooncoffeepodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at afternoonjava.